Glad that you have joined us today. We continue on in our reading of Psalm 139, starting now in verse 13 and reading to verse 24. For you, Lord, formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them. The days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God, how vast is the sum of them. If I would count them, they are more than the sand. I awake, and I am still with you. Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God, O men of blood, depart from me. They speak against you with malicious intent. Your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? I hate them with complete hatred, and I count them my enemies. But search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the everlasting way. Psalm 139 has been a favorite of Christians throughout the years because of God's intricate knowledge of who we are. And you'll see as we've read through this that God knew our inward parts. He knitted us together in our mother's womb. Knitting us together, fabricating us, moving us together. And we can only see now, of course, through ultrasound, some of pictures of babies to be born. But God is the one who is knitting us together in the mother's womb. What a wonderful picture this is. Our frames were not hidden from Him when we were made in secret. So frequently we might think of ourselves as getting away from the Lord or getting away from other people, but God knows and God sees. He sees always. He sees our unformed substance, and then in His book, every single day has already been recorded. God already knows. He knows today. He knows tomorrow. He knows the future. Of course, you and I have been listening to news forecasts that continue to change hourly, and what we didn't think was possible a few weeks ago is now possible now as the government adjusts to the coronavirus. But God knows all these days. They are already written in His book, and He knows the best way to respond, and He asks for us to try and follow in His ways. But God knows. How precious are these thoughts? If we were to count them, they would be more than the sands on the sea. Frequently, some of us go to the beach, and maybe as you're at the beach, you might scoop out some sand in your hand, and you probably wouldn't take the time to count every single grain. But Psalm 139 tells us that God knows every single grain of sand. He knows every single thought that we have. So hence the psalm closes like this: Search me, O God, and know my heart, and try me and know my anxious thoughts. In other words, search our hearts, figure them out, Lord. For it's easy to be anxious, it's easy to have concerns, but God knows that heart. And see if there's a grievous way in us, Lord, and lead us in the everlasting way. Our God knows us, He cares for us, He knows what's in the inside of our hearts. Will you trust Him today with the future? Will you trust the all-knowing, good, and loving God? And may He give you peace and comfort as you rest in Him.